My people got the 80s, 1980. So, you know. Oh, okay. You know, I'm LunchMoney Lewis. I'm a, songwriter, producer, and artist from Miami for many years. But the exhibit is, I come from reggae, inner circle. My pops, Roger Lewis. My pops, Ian Lewis, Roger Lewis, my uncle, Touter, the whole group. This is my lineage, so I feel like it's a time that we have to preserve, that I feel like, I don't want to get lost in translation through my generation, because the 70s to me was like the most pivotal time of like Rasta, political uprise, black liberation. It's the most, important time in reggae history, just as far as like the roots, the culture. So, I love dancehall music, of course, because it's a hand in hand, it's part of it. But, those people like Bob, Peter Tosh, Gregory Isaacs, Bob Marley, all of the people in the exhibit, Jimmy Cliff, Lee Scratch Perry, Joe Gibbs, Studio One, all of those type of things.
Tubby.
Like, King Tubby, all of those people are like the most important aspects to where we are now. How we, learned how to carry ourselves and through Rasta, and how we eat and how we live and our spirituality. So, it's a blessing to have. What, you want me to go through? This is an original Inner Circle poster from their first album, Reggae Thing. Which I named the exhibit after one of their songs called JahMusic, which is funny because Mr. Michael showing the Romeo and Juliet, his version of it, and Chinna, who co-wrote the song JahMusic with my pops, I named the gallery and the whole exhibit after him. Their song, it's called JahMusic, that's why it's a JahMusic exhibit. This is Hank Aaron getting married in Jamaica. This is an original print of Hank Aaron and his wife getting married in Jamaica. And we showcase this one because I like showing the diaspora, African Americans, Jamaicans, Haitians, like our diaspora is wide, even though there's a lot of controversy about it. This is one of the most prolific African American baseball players getting married in Jamaica with his wife, to show like at that time it was a lot of black outreach all over the world, all over the world. It was British, it was all the blacks in Britain and Germany and Jamaica and Africa and America. We were all like sharing and caring and sharing, so that's why I hung this, just to show that, somebody that important, got married in Jamaica, you know what I mean? And then this is an original from Christina Ingret. She's a Haitian artist from Miami. This is an original Jacob Miller, 101. She crushed it, it was something, I've always been a fan of her art, so I just asked her to do whatever, and she, blessed us. So there's 3 original pieces in it. This is one of them. This is an original Michael Pootland, who took a lot of he took the Curtis Mayfield covers, Rolling Stone covers. This is an original signed by him of that actual picture of, Bob, Peter Tosh, and Mick Jagger hanging out, just to show like the way these artists were inspired by reggae music and coming to Jamaica at the time and hanging with Peter and Bob and getting the, getting the vibes and the spirituality, And Mick was a big fan of reggae, obviously, always at Peter. Him and Peter was super close, and this original Rockers poster, because this movie is
classic.
This is everything. This is like the epicenter of everything. It has everybody. It has Horsemount, who played on Tide for Liquid and all Inner Circle songs. And Jacob and Gregory and Dirty Harry, and these are people I've been hearing about my whole life and studying. So when I got an original poster from the '80s, one of the UK homies, and I flew it down. And then that's an original Lee Scratch Perry. That's a one-on-one artist, Kadar Paris. He's from the Virgin Islands. He did a one-on-one of Lee. Of course, we know Lee Scratch Perry. He's a legend. Produced all the early Wailers records and just a genius. Junior Mervyn, all those songs. A sonic genius. He also worked off of the the 440. That's where they made all their records on. You know what I mean? So I wanted to showcase him. And then this is artist Pure Gold. Rest in peace, the great Jimmy Cliff. That's the Harder They Come cover. She did her own interpretation of it. So, it's just all people that mean something to the, to the lineage. It's where we are now because of these people. So, and I wanted to highlight these people, and let the educational purpose of it, not just like, really understand how much it meant to the, bigger than any politician, So. These people are like giants to, to me, and, I know you so many of us.
It's a great work, my brother. I congratulate you.
Thank you.